Hello everyone. Most of you know that I like Barbershop Harmony, but I also like all the jokes and stories that are often told on barbershop shows. So I'm going to start a series of jokes, some of the better jokes that I've seen over the years on barbershop shows. And if I can pull this off, I may try to do one tomorrow and one the next day as well. But I'm going to start with one of my favorites. Did you know that there are 3 states in the United States that you can say without moving your tongue or your lips? The first state is Ohio. Now watch and I'll show you. Ohio, Ohio, Ohio. Now, when this is over, I'm going to invite you to do that on your own without laughing. By the way, the second state is Iowa. Iowa, Iowa, Iowa. And the last state is Hawaii. Hawaii, Hawaii, Hawaii. Now, I want you to try that and see if you can do that without laughing at yourself, and see if you can pull that off. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for listening. Hello everybody, and welcome to day 2 of my favorite barbershop jokes. There was an older lady who died, and when the pallbearers took the coffin up into the church, they had trouble because the church steps were so steep. And when the funeral was over, they had a lot of trouble getting the coffin back down those bad steps. And what happened was the thing fell onto the steps, the coffin fell onto the steps and bumped its way down onto the street and slid along the street, around the corner, into the local drugstore, and right up against the counter where you'd fill prescriptions. And the pharmacist was there, and the coffin lid popped open, and the lady looked up and said, "You got anything to stop this coffin?" And then there was an older lady who died, and she left a note for the mortician that said, "Now, I don't want any men pallbearers for my funeral. Absolutely no male pallbearers." And then there was a P.S. on the bottom of the note that said, "They didn't take me out when I was living, and they're not going to take me out now." Hello everyone, this is day 3. This isn't actually a barbershop joke, but it's pretty similar. I was raised on a farm out in South Dakota, and I decided about 10 years ago I wanted to go to the state fair and participate in the cow mooing contest. So I did. And I got down there and I got in line, and there were 40 contestants. I was the oldest, and I was number 17. And when the MC called me on stage, he says, "Now you get an opportunity to do 2 moos." So I mooed. Okay, I didn't win, but I sure had fun, and when it was over, I went and celebrated by having a very famous Wisconsin State Fair cream puff. And now all of you need to start practicing your moo. Hello everybody, and welcome to Barbershop Jokes. Most chapters have an annual show, and in addition do a Christmas show. And this version of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" was heard on one show. "'Twas the crisp before nightmas, and all how the truce. Not a stircher was screeching, not louse in a neve. The hockings were stung by the kermy with chim, in nips at Hope's ankle as there would see Bim. The nildren were chestled, all bugging their schneds, while schisms of pooger slums hanced in their deds. And Kama in her merchief and me and Kynap had chests jettled down for a long winter's whap. When out on the clock there was such a loner, I banked from my spread to see Matt was a water. I'd do to the sewing, I soon like a clash, sort open the letter and threw up the hash. Ben socked my lundering ways new to rear, man a bit of chirray and tain 90 dane rear. Let the whittle old Iris so quively and lick, I mew in a comb and it lust me ain't sick. Cherry Christmas, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 5 of my favorite barbershop jokes. Stolberg worked in a sawmill, and there was an unfortunate accident one day, and his ear got cut off. So he rushed him to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Stolberg, I think if you find your ear and bring it back here, I can probably sew it on." So they all went back and started pawing around in the sawdust, and finally one guy yelled out, "Stolberg, is this your ear?" He says, "No, mine had a pencil behind it." Well, folks, I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to have this be my last day. They always say fish and visitors smell in 3 days, and I have been in here for 5. But I do want to thank you for your patience and for allowing me to come into your living room and make a fool out of myself. And by the way, I think if all of us hang in there, we will get through this virus thing. And so, as they always say at the end of a barbershop show, keep the whole world singing. Bye.